if you're looking at a photograph of the past, does it prove that there's a past? Someone in comments asked this question. And so I thought, well, let's just go through it. So let's imagine, or maybe if you have a photograph in front of you, you can do this in real time. There's a photograph in front of you, right? You're looking at this photograph. In the photograph, there is, let's say, a truck and a person. Okay, and you're just seeing this, right? You're seeing these images, and something seems to know what those images are, truck, person, whatever colors they're there, whatever time of day it seems to be. So the mind knows that, right? It knows these images. Where does the past part come from? Where's the pastness in this photo you're holding? Right? So, for instance, you could do a thought experiment. What if a dog is looking at that photo? Does the dog think that's the past? What if a baby's looking at the photo? Does it think it's the past? The only thing you can reference to find the past is a thought. Whether it's a photo that you're looking at, whether it's just a thought, whether it's someone else using symbolic language to conjure a thought within the mind. Any of those ways of conjuring a thought, let's say, about the past, first of all, they're all happening right now. They're all happening right in this moment. And they're all symbolic in nature, meaning if you're looking at that photo of a truck and a person, let's say you don't even have the words for truck and person. An infant, for instance, does not have the words for truck and person. It doesn't know what it's looking at. It sees shapes and forms in there. It's certainly a newborn baby, right? An animal, a dog, whatever. Most are going to see that and just see shades and colors and be essentially uninterested. They don't have the symbology. They don't have a complex enough thought to have symbology of language. Symbology of pictures to tell them what they're looking at represents something else. Because if you're looking at a picture, you're not looking at a truck. If you're looking at a picture, you're not looking at a person. If you're looking at a picture, you're not looking at the past. You're looking at a picture. You're looking at a piece of paper, right? Essentially, you're looking at a whatever pictures are made out of, but it's essentially paper, right? An ink. That's what you're looking at. It's the symbology of the mind that says, oh, this represents something else. And when we get complex enough in our representation, we start imagining timelines, past and future, which really has mostly to do with agency, right? Because what's the point in thinking about the past and future if you're not thinking about agency in some way, right? What's going to be done, what's been done, what you did, what you're going to do, what that person did, what they did to me, what I'm doing to them, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to be, right? Now, space, of course, similarly, space is a mental construct, but for now we're just talking about time, and you can see that the sense of a timeline itself is a mental construct, and that mental construct is totally based on symbols, symbology, right? This is really obvious if you sort of look at the simplicity of sense data. So like, for instance, if you were to look at that picture and squint your eyes to the point where you couldn't make out the figures, then would you know it's the past? Well, your mind might say, well, it's a photo, so it has to be of the past, right? And then again, that's the symbol that we've placed on that piece of paper called a photograph, right? What if I was holding up a piece of paper and your eyes were squinting so much you didn't know it was a photograph? Then would you have the symbol saying that's the past? Of course not, right? So again, it's symbology that gives us the sense of past, that gives us the sense of objects, the permanence, coming, going, self and other, all of this, right? So I think without overcomplicating, I just want to be clear in that simple way that if you just look at what's actually occurring, and this is what, strangely, this is what non-duality comes down to when we're really contemplating whether or not there are boundaries, whether or not there's form and perception and so forth. What we're actually doing is looking at what's actually seen. That's it. Buddha said in the Bahia Sutta, in the seen, only the seen. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If you really see what is only the seen, there's nothing there that is solid, separate, apart from something that reflects on a self, something that has any inherent reality to it, something that appears in time, something that appears in space. All these are post-analysis, right? All of these are reflective mind taking shape of ideas and perceptions and so forth, and basically turning it into symbology, turning this snapshot of that which has no form, no particular orientation, place, space, time, none of those attributes exist, but the mind is still somehow taking a picture, which is really kind of fascinating, turning essentially nothing into something. So this isn't a statement about what is, because there's no way to make a statement about what is. This is a statement about the nature of reflection itself. Okay, so the reflection is imperfect. It's functional, sure, but what it does is it uses certain constructs, mental constructs, ideas, time, space, doership, and so forth, to turn a snapshot of what is essentially energy or nothingness into something functional. That's all it is, right? It doesn't create a future or a past, because every thought exists right here, of course. It creates the illusion of a past and future, and the illusion of space and the illusion of form. That's it.